I don't know how this Susan Rice can look herself in the mirror. I don't know how she can live with herself going on TV and lying all the time about these desperate situations like Benghazi and now this, and never held to account. In fact, Obama promotes her because she's so good with the propaganda. It's a disgrace. And so now the trashing of the real men and women of honor begins. And I'd like Susan Rice to tell us exactly how Bo Bergdahl served honorably. Which side? Look, I'm not making accusations. I'm looking at the facts that are being presented to us from other news sources, from other interviews, first-hand accounts. And maybe we're all missing something here. Maybe he decided, you know what, I'm going to take my compass and I'm going to charge the enemy, and I'm going to leave my gun behind. I guess that's possible. Maybe that's what he did. Maybe that message he left about his country was forged. Maybe it was somebody else who wrote it. Maybe his knucklehead father isn't really his father. Maybe that's somebody else's father. So maybe I'm missing everything here. And by the way, do you think I like talking about this story? What is this, day 3? I don't like talking about this story at all. I don't like spending 1 second on this story. The country is collapsing all around us. The president's seizing power all around us. We have an impotent Congress that won't stand up to him. We have courts that go along with it. We have a bureaucracy that's out of control. The American people are under assault. The private sector is the target of the war of this administration. Unfortunately, you can't ignore this because we have men and women in uniform serving overseas being undermined by their commander-in-chief. And this is exactly what this does. This undermines our men and women, our beautiful, precious, wonderful men and women who have volunteered to take on these barbarians in hellhole after hellhole. And they're undermined by our commander-in-chief. And by the way, so are our veterans. Our commander-in-chief is AWOL. Well, I didn't know anything about him until I read it in the newspaper. Well, maybe you ought to sit still enough and get up before 10 a.m. and find out what's going on around you. You are the president. You keep growing the government. How about paying attention to what the hell's going on? 170-some rounds of golf. What the hell is that? You want to be a professional golfer? Then go off and try and do it. The president has so much responsibility, even when he's trying to comply with the Constitution. But this president goes off. You know, this president, everybody's going to get health care. No, they're not. Everybody's going to have a living wage. No, they're not. Everybody's going to be absolutely equal. No, they're not. And every time when his policies fail, which is every time, somebody else's fault. And this is the pattern. It's the pattern of the imperial president. It's the pattern of the totalitarian mindset. You cannot attack the ideology. The ideology must live on at all costs. The reason, you see, ladies and gentlemen, all these wonderful paradisiacal things don't work. Yes, it's a word. Look it up. The reason they don't work is because of us, you see, because we're imperfect. Because we're not equal with each other, because we're not paying enough taxes, because we're not giving enough of ourselves, because we're not feeding our children right, we're not driving the right cars, we're not washing the right clothes, we're not doing what we're supposed to do, you see. It's our fault that Nirvana hasn't arrived. It's our fault that Obamacare doesn't work. The people. So on the one hand, they claim to do these things for the people, we the people. On the other hand, it's we the people who are responsible for the imperfections, you see. Otherwise, we'd be here already. We'd have Obama's utopia, or Lyndon Johnson's utopia, or FDR's utopia, or the next one, and the next one, and the next one after that. Well, let me circle back. What the hell do these platoon members know about their fellow platoon member? I mean, after all, we ought to listen to Susan Rice. She knows everything. Marie Harf is a State Department deputy spokesidiot. And here is she yesterday at a briefing. Cut 5, go.
We don't know the facts about what happened yet.
Stop. Why don't we? It's been 5 years. Why don't we know the facts about what happened yet? Aren't you the spokesidiot for the State Department? Didn't Susan Rice go on TV and say this guy, he served honorably? I think you do know the facts. And as a matter of fact, we already know that since 2009 there'd been some investigation over the circumstances of this guy walking off. So there she is, lying through her teeth. Go ahead.
We don't know the facts about what happened yet. On
By
that
the
day.
way, what is she, 14 years old? Doesn't she sound that way? Go ahead.
According to those around him, his platoon mates, his squad mates, company mates, they said he walked off
some
the
of
base.
them, there are conflicting reports out there about this. Look,
Are there?
There are. Go Google it on the web, and you'll find a ton of conflicting.
Stop. Oh, there's conflict. Let's all go to Google. I mean, we can't expect the deputy spokes idiot over there at the State Department to know the facts. Didn't she just say we don't know all the facts, Mr. Producer? Then what did she do? Direct the whole country to go to Google and get the facts. What is this, Disneyland? No, I like Disneyland. What? I don't know. What the hell is this? Go ahead.
The fact is, we're still establishing a fact pattern about what happened, how he ended up in Taliban captivity. So I think people need to be really careful about believing every second or third hand report out there. And also what the president...
Stop. Hey, lady, let me tell you something. Lady. Those men who've come forward, they're not second and third hand reports. They know what happened. And if they hadn't come forward, we wouldn't know. And if they didn't know anything about it, then why the hell did you have them sign non-disclosure reports? I thought they're second and third hand witnesses. No. We need to listen to what Susan Rice says. Not the actual men in the platoon. Not the squad mates. Not the company mates. Not the platoon mates. We have to listen to this young lady. She knows everything, and she made it clear. Go to Google. And we need to get the facts by getting a fact pattern or some mumbo-jumbo. Go ahead.
Terry, what Chairman Dempsey have said, regardless of how he went missing, it is our responsibility to him to bring him home. Period.
You know, nothing's worse than an arrogant numbskull. Regardless of how he went missing, it is our responsibility to him to bring him home. Period. No, it's not. I hate to tell you. If there's a deserter who's left his unit and has joined up with the enemy, it is absolutely not. Let me be the first one to say it. It is not our responsibility to bring him home, and I would never, ever, ever put another soldier's life at risk to bring him home. How do you like that? Go ahead.
Second, third-hand reports when his squad mates who served with him overseas said he walked off the
Lucas,
cop.
I'm sure some of them... I mean, look, there's a lot of rumor and telephone game that's being played here about what happened.
Stop. Who is this buffoon? Who is this? Will they just drag her right out of middle school or something? There's a lot of, what does she sound like? One of those, whatever. But a lot of rumor and telephone game that's being played here about what is telephone game? So you see, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot trust our men and women in uniform, the real heroes, when they come forward and tell us as first-hand eyewitnesses about what took place, as character witnesses about what kind of a person this fellow was. No, we have to rely on Marie Harf, deputy spokes idiot. I would love to know her background. Let's all go to Google and see Marie Harf, Harf, and see what qualifications she brings to the job. Because even before the reporter asks his question, and this reporter's actually doing his job, asking pretty good questions, she's ready to interrupt. Oh, yes. Is this a telephone game? Sounds like a spoiled 14-year-old brat to me. Does she not to you, Mr. Producer? Way out of her league, way over her head. But then again, look who the Secretary of State is. And then again, look who the Secretary of State was before him. It was her. Hillary. And that great book of hers, Hard Choices. Stolen from Cyrus Vance, his great book, Hard Choices. 2 books nobody gives a damn about. By the way, as a side point, I really believe this. I think that unless you have written your book, if you've had assistance with research, you can put that in the acknowledgments section and spell that out. But unless you have actually written your book, your name really shouldn't be on the cover as the author. Or putting the co-writer, his name, in really tiny, like 4 font, when you put your name in about 28 font. Your name is in blazing red. Their name is in barely legible white at the bottom. Bill, whatever, with Marty, whatever, just tiny little print at the bottom. Oh, no, I wrote the book. How's that? Well, I review everything. No, that's not doing the research and writing a book. That's editing a book. Barely. And I'm not picking on any individual. I just think this whole business needs to be cleaned up. I have never seen so many lightweights put out so many books. Again, I'm not picking on any individual. And who's he talking about? A lot of them, hey, he talking about me? No, Did I mention a name? No. I just don't know how people spend their weekends out on tour, doing this, doing that, and then, what, 4 books this year? Whoa! That's pretty damn good. Difficult subjects. How do you do it? I don't know. That's just a little annoyance for me. You know, to really write a book, it's almost all-consuming. It really is. You have notepads all over your house. You've got them next to your bed. You've got them where you eat so you don't forget something that crosses your mind. You've got stacks of research on the internet, from the library, from books that you own, historical records, and so forth. Your desk is not clean. You're not just on the phone with somebody a few times. You've got to put thought into what you're saying. Your arguments have to make sense. That doesn't mean people agree with them. I'm talking about nonfiction now. And you have to educate yourself often, because all of a sudden you hit something you weren't aware of and you need to go find out about it. That could take a day and a half. It could take an entire Sunday when you're sitting at home. It's just common sense. People can't write books 3, 4, 5 a year and be running around all weekend. It's just not possible. Maybe comic books, maybe. The deputy spokesidiot at the State Department, Marie Harf. Let's hear a little of that again. Go ahead.
We don't know the facts about what happened yet on that day.
According to those around him, his platoon mates, his squad mates, company mates, they said he walked off.
Some of them, there are conflicting reports out there about this. Look,
are there?
There are. Go Google it on the web, and you'll find a ton of conflicting reports.
Stop. I've concluded this is a Valley Girl. Isn't that what they used to call them? Valley Girls? Yes, I think so. So we have a Valley Girl spokesidiot, the deputy spokesidiot at the State Department, because this administration always fills these key spots with the most qualified people in the country. Well, what was she, some kind of a campaign, campaign person? I'm just curious. Hey, Mike, or Rich, can you Google, now that she mentions it, Marie Harf, and let us know the brilliant background that she must have? Not even on Wikipedia. I'm on Wikipedia. Of course, these slimeball leftists are constantly going on there trying to say things about me that aren't very kind. But does she show up anywhere on Google? Go to Google. Oh, she's the former CIA spokesperson. Oh, that's great. And what'd she do before that? She's obviously been a spokesidiot for a lot of these departments and agencies. Former CIA. I mean, look at this. The standards are... I've probably already gotten in trouble with a few of these references. Now, I believe CNN with Candy Crowley said that Bergdahl served with honor and distinction. And she was the official spokesperson for the Obama administration. So I think the president has an obligation now to tell us how he served with honor and distinction. And yet the spokesidiot there at the State Department goes on that we need to get facts and go to Google. I'm very confused. They're very confused. They said they informed Congress. They've been informing Congress for years that they were going to do this. Then we have members of Congress saying no, including Dianne Frankenfeinstein, head of the Senate Intelligence Committee. And by the way, don't you need to have an IQ over 12 to be head of the Senate Intelligence Committee? She should be head of the Senate Lack of Intelligence Committee. But that's a whole other story. She's disappointed because she wasn't in the loop. They're all disappointed. None of them are in the loop. And what are they going to do about it? Nothing. What are they going to do about anything? Nothing. So they put out the word, it's time to trash men and women in uniform who've come forward, who have no reason to lie, who are telling us about Bergdahl. And unlike Susan Rice, last time I checked, she was not in the unit. Last time I checked, they were. They have a different opinion. So here's Chuck Todd on the Today Show this morning telling us what the White House is doing, because Chuck Todd works very closely with the propagandists at the White House, as do most of the people at MSLSD and the mothership NBC. Cut 9, go.
They did not expect this backlash on Bergdahl himself. I've had a few aides describe it to me as we didn't know that they were going to swift boat Bergdahl. And Matt, of course, that's a reference to that political fight back in 2004 over John Kerry's military service that became so controversial in that campaign. So there's some fighting words there.
There's some fighting words there, Matt. Those are fighting words. See, it's all a game for the inside the Beltway crowd. It's all about keeping the incumbents. It's all about the movement of money from we the people to them. It's all about who's up and who's down. It's a fight. It's a real fight. Meanwhile, we have men and women in harm's way, the best that we have as a country, the bravest among us, the best among us, and this crap goes on inside the Beltway. So the White House says this is, they're going to swift-boat Bergdahl. Who's going to swift-boat Bergdahl? Oh, the people who served with him. Oh, okay, they're going to swift-boat Bergdahl by telling the truth, by coming forward, by refusing to be silenced. We used to call this Americanism. Today we call it, they're going to swift-boat him. Like it was done to John Kerry. What was done to John Kerry was exposing the man for what he really is. Now, what about him? The Democrats actually nominate this jerk for president. Another one who turned on our men and women in uniform while they're there on the battlefield in Vietnam and other places, gives aid and comfort to the enemy. We're all supposed to forget this. Secretary of State with a bunch of Republicans voting for him. Well, that's our buddy John. We work with John. John's a good guy. How could you vote? President gets who he wants. Never stand up on principle. Never. And then there's Van Jones. This guy is red as they get. This guy serves Obama. He's exposed by Glenn Beck. He leaves the administration. And, of course, he's hired by CNN. It's back and forth. If he'd worked at CNN, he would have been hired by Obama. Van Jones on CNN yesterday. This whole thing is an orchestrated smear campaign against our hero, Bo. Cut 10, go.
Now, I admit there are some important questions we've got to answer here. But Sergeant...
Stop. But he doesn't give a damn about the questions or the answers. Why would he care? He's Van Jones. Go ahead.
Bergdahl isn't even out of the hospital yet. And already the airwaves are being filled mysteriously with former soldiers just trashing the guy.
Stop. Oh, it's mysteriously. They're just trashing the guy. You see, these soldiers, they're so dumb. They're so dumb. They just have to be orchestrated to come out and discuss their situation with this guy and express their outrage. You see, it has to be orchestrated by somebody. The invisible hand. He's not a conspiracy nut, this Van Jones. No. He has the nation's best interests and the military's best interests at heart. We know this from Van Jones, radical left-wing kook. Go ahead.
What is going on here? Well, it turns out that there are Republican operatives who are working behind the scenes to get some of those guys on television.
Stop. I think we call them, Mr. Producer, bookers. Every show has what's called a booker. Some of them have more than one booker, and they're not all Republicans. And they're trying to find individuals who can provide information about what's going on, since our Soviet-like government with our imperial president keep lying to us with his Praetorian Guard media. They're called bookers, trying to get guests to discuss this event. They didn't create this event. Obama created this event, and then he flew off to Poland. Go ahead.
Orchestrated smear campaign. The implication...
Stop. How is it an orchestrated smear campaign, pal? You don't know a damn thing about this guy. And you weren't there. If you were there, you're probably rallying the other side. How dare you trash these men, you jerk? How dare you trash these men? Smear campaign. Isn't it funny? He says we need to get the answers to important questions. They're giving us answers to important questions, you jerk. Go ahead.
President Obama should have left a U.S.
Shut up. I can't stand it anymore. I just can't. Gotta listen to these leftist propaganda. Van Jones has his own TV show. Crossfire. Crossfire? Oh, yeah, very heated. Can I tell you the truth? I haven't watched Crossfire since Novak and Buchanan left that show. It's true. And I was on that show often. It was a real show, real debate. Real, not hand-to-hand combat, but real combat, cerebral combat. It was a good show. It was one of my favorite shows. Now look at it, Van Jones. Van Jones should be on the Al Jazeera network with his buddy Gore. Propagandist. Richard Engel. I remember his father, I think it was his father, was a news guy too, both leftists. He's the NBC News chief foreign correspondent. By the way, I'm the Mark Levin Show chief foreign correspondent, and I might say the Mark Levin Show's senior judicial analyst. Did you know that, Mr. Producer? I'm all these things. I'm the Mark Levin Show chief political reporter. I do all these things. Here's Richard Engel NBC News, where is he? On the morning schmo. Nobody watches it, so I'll give them some attention. Cut 7, go.
We've actually been getting more information today from the Taliban than we have from spokespersons here at the hospital in Lunchtool.
Stop. Oh, isn't that interesting? Maybe that's why they tell us, go to Google. Go to Google and do what? Well, just Google it. Google what? So here we have a left-wing so-called reporter, a putative reporter, Richard Engel, NBC News chief foreign correspondent, saying, hey, we're getting more information from the Taliban from the Obama administration. Well, what's that tell you? Go ahead.
Is in written statements that his health is stable, that he's receiving treatment. No indication how long he'll be here in Landstuhl, only that when he is medically ready, he'll be transferred back to the United States.
Stop. Why can't they even tell us what this health issue is? I mean, we, the people, under Obamacare, we tell the IRS and HHS, you got your doctors there with their new little laptop computers. Or iPads, having to put in, all right, code this, your rashes where, inner thigh, how many hemorrhoids? 2, maybe 3, okay, we'll check those. Okay, what else? Okay, I got that. We've encoded it, it's in, okay, send it off to the government. And they have this database. I'm just wondering what war wounds our conquering hero has, because we know he charged the enemy with his compass in hand. I just want to know. Look, folks, I don't know. I don't know. They won't tell us. As this guy just said, we're learning more from the Taliban than we are from the Obama administration. Like the Valley Gore. Go check the Google. Go check Google. Go check Google. What? Google. Go ahead, please.
The Taliban, however, have been very forthcoming with information. They released that video.
Stop. Are we on another planet here? I mean, seriously. These loathsome subhuman barbarians, these throwbacks to the 7th century, are giving us more information than the Obama administration. And what information we're getting from the Obama administration, from the propagandist Susan Rice, are lies for the most part. He served honorably and with distinction. How so? I don't know. We got to get the facts. Go to Google. Huh? That's right. And by the way, all those men that served with him, yes, liars, part of an orchestrated smear campaign. Oh, okay.